Good evening and welcome to RattlerUp with Coach Walsh live from the San Marcos High School and the Rattler broadcast studios exclusively on the home for Rattler Nation events, the RattlerUp Network. Good evening, I'm CJ Odom, and alongside me as always, San Marcos High School Athletic Director and Head Football Coach John Walsh. Coach, welcome back into RattlerUp.
Yeah, it's been a bit, but good time to wrap it all up at the end of the school year.
We are excited to finally just take a look back at what's been an incredible year, and we have a little sneak preview of what Season 5 will look like as the design has been stepped up. We got the folks down, the kids down, the construction. We'll talk a little bit about the details later in the show, Coach, as we do a really good review of the whole year. But what are your thoughts and just how do you feel about the overall 25-26 seasons across all of Rattler Nation? A nice, big, giant question for you to open up.
But it's easy to talk about because, our team sports, nearly every one of them were competing for playoff spots or qualify for playoff spots. And that's what you want is a chance to get in the tournament and extend your season. And then when you got the individual sports, we got, our lady golfer who, made it to regionals, and you can tell she's going to be a future star in our golf program. And the two girls we have here that advanced to state level, and one's trying to go win it, and one's already won it.
And they're juniors.
They're just juniors, and they're coming back. So yeah, I mean it's been, and then we'll talk about it later. But in 6 years, this is my 6th year here, we've had the most college signees across all sports, and we're doing another one tomorrow. So it's been a great year. I love watching these kids grow. I've been here long enough now that the 7th graders that were coming in to Miller and Goodnight are graduating now.
Kids you first inherited now, right?
So it's fun. It's fun to watch them grow. They come in not knowing anything. They think they know things. They don't know anything. But they leave young women and young men, so
right.
it's pretty fun.
Well, I love what you said there. We're going to celebrate the accomplishments of the 25-26 season, but man, there are some exciting seeds that have been planted for 26-27. Correct?
Yeah, well, absolutely. We have a lot of young talent coming back across the board. And I can, I'm involved in all of it, so I can pretty much tell you what the pace of each sport's going to be. I know our girls basketball, just an example, they've made this incredible run. But they got a lot of young talent coming through from Miller and Goodnight. That's going to make some more noise, just like they've been making.
Right. What was the biggest surprise for you this year? Just across in any one place or just as a whole?
Shoot, biggest surprise.
That's a rapid fire with Creek Innes kind of question.
Well,
isn't
it's hard to have surprises when you're in the trenches and every day with
right.
these coaches and kiddos. But if I think of a surprise along the way, I'll stop you. But I don't think I'm not surprised a whole lot, but I see all the hard work that's taking place.
Well, like you said, you're able to see it coming. You know what's coming up from 7th and 8th grade. You know how JV teams are coming up to be varsity, so things are firing on the way you kind of have projected it for it to happen.
Absolutely.
Well, is there one team or one individual that you think rose beyond what you could have expected?
There's two individuals that I've watched grow, and they were always, on the varsity as a junior, on the varsity as a sophomore. And we're going to talk about the girls later, so I'll go to the boys' side. Our goalie for the boys' soccer, we had him on, and he made, incredible plays in key moments. And just to watch his maturity. And then on the baseball field, everybody knows about Jack. Jack's going to throw no-hitters, and Jack's going to, blow it by you. But, Charlie Helgeson's a player that it was a good middle infielder, and I would say an average hitter as a junior. Right. And this year he became one of the best hitters in the state of Texas, and a great middle infielder that, I've talked to his mom and Coach Webb that he almost can get re-recruited, at mid-major just because of he didn't just settle for being good. He wanted to make his team better, and he worked to get, and then his body changed, because he committed to the weight room.
Well, we saw Charlie. We could talk about Creek Ennis and I broadcasting those baseball games live on the RattlerUp network. We're going through stats, and I remember last year you've been up in the booth with us, right? We got papers everywhere, stats everywhere, and we typically highlight team leaders, so we're kind of have those things to talk about. And Charlie made a big difference on that team last year, but man, this year his name, there was highlights all over the place. He was always leading in something. He was always coming through with the clutch hit. So I could tell you from the broadcaster's booth, that was a name that just continued. If that name's coming out of Creek and I's mouth often, you know things are good.
Yeah, no doubt. And we nicknamed him Charlie Clutch because, I mean, when it was time to make a big hit and we needed it, he was delivering.
Right. Well, we are excited to look back at the year that was in Rattler Nation, and we will start with someone that is just 5 days away from competing at the state championships. When we return from commercial, we'll be joined by state pole vault qualifier Nelly Moritz-Barboza. You're watching Rattler Up. Welcome back to Rattler Up with Coach Walsh on the exclusive home for Rattler Nation events, the Rattler Up Network. And we are excited to be joined live in studio by a San Marcos High School junior who will be competing this weekend in Austin at the state track meet. Nelly Moritz-Barboza is here with us. Nelly, thanks for joining us on Rattler Up.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, Nelly was the back-to-back area pole vault champion. She holds the San Marcos High School school record with a jump of 12 foot 6 1/4 inches. Nelly, how excited are you to be competing at state this weekend?
I'm so excited. I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to go and compete with all these wonderful ladies. Excited to see how I do. And just be at that stadium is so cool and such a cool experience. So.
Yeah, we're excited to see it happen for sure. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into pole vault, right? It's such a unique event. In fact, we were talking before we all went on the air as we were visiting with you about oftentimes have to have individual coaching because it's such a unique event. So what drew you to that? What made you first want to compete in that particular event?
Yeah, honestly, I was a gymnast for about 11 years before. So my pole vault coach at the middle school kind of made me do it, forced me into it. I didn't really have a choice, but going into my 8th grade year, I was like, I really enjoyed it, and I found my love for it. And I just started going to club, and that's when I really decided to focus on pole vault and make that my main sport. And I could not be happier.
And I'll add to that because we are unique, and at San Marcos, you know, Leslie Adamson doesn't work for us anymore, but when she did, it's rare you have a coach that specializes in the pole vault, and Leslie did, and it's, you said gymnasts, it makes sense because they're upside down most of the time. So Leslie knows what she's doing.
Right. Well, how long did it finally? I know that you hear a lot of people have tried pole vault before when they're in junior high and you're trying all those things. How long did it take you to finally just get over that initial one back in middle school when you're first doing this?
Yeah, my 7th grade year was really hard. Hold on. Is that good?
Angling towards you.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
My 7th grade year was really hard. It was difficult. Just really new to the sport, so I didn't know what I was doing. Also, just like so young. So I was doing so many other things. I was still doing cross country and still doing gymnastics at the moment. So when I went to my 8th grade year, I did good. And that's when I was like, whoa, I can actually do this.
Tasting that success helped, right?
Exactly, yeah. It was just like, wow, this is a whole new sport for me. I enjoy doing it so much. And I realized I have more potential in it. So that was a big thing for me. But yeah.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about your training. Again, I think it is such a unique event. I think everybody knows what pole vault is, but it's certainly not something most people know the ins and outs of. So talk to us a little bit about your training, what practice looks like for you, both for the event and also just in general, keeping yourself in shape as an athlete.
Yeah, it's a lot of running. You wouldn't think that, but just the run is a big part of pole vault, so you really have to train, get that speed work, sprinting. So I do that a lot with my track team. And then I have my club that I go to twice a week. It's usually a shorter run, more technique type of day. And then the next practice I might go from your long run as like a meet type of day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just a lot of training that you wouldn't think of, which, yeah. And then just a lot of at-home stuff to like take care of your body and keep that core that you need for pole vault. It's during the summer, especially a bunch of alone working out. But I also enjoy it. It's part of the sport. So.
Yeah, I was going to add, just one, we talked about the running and pole vault. That approach is everything. And I've gotten to water no vault like Nelly does, but I know that approach is not only being strong runner down the runway, but just the rhythm, which takes, rep after rep after rep. So she said alone, and I wanted to make sure that got out and Mila's no different because you can walk in the resting room and see her by herself. But in the summertime, she is always by herself when everything's gone and done and still getting her extra work. And she probably should have her key to the weight room. She's always up there.
Well, I mean, that's why she's in the state championship, right, Coach?
No question.
And so we talked again before. It was really interesting to hear how the state meet will run, right? And so you're going to have 9 girls there, 8 from the top 2 from each of the 4 regions, plus a wild card, and it becomes just a jump over the certain levels, raise it as you go until there's only one standing, right? And so talk to us a little bit about your preparation and if any kind of strategy, again, that people that don't know the sport may not know that you would have going into a situation like that.
Yeah, so personally for me, it's more focus on myself and not others because it's really an individual sport. You can't control what others do. So I just try to like calm myself down because, again, can't control what others do, just myself.
That mental aspect is huge, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely. So you hope clear the first bar because you want to know height, and then clear each attempt, first attempt. Because once you get to that third attempt, it's really stressful. Also, attempts do matter. So it's really just focus on yourself for me personally.
Right.
But there's so many good girls, and it's like you watch them, you see like, oh, I have to perform good, but it's just
you can only control what you do,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
So stepping away from pole vault outside of track, talk to us a little bit about like other classes you're taking. Obviously, track is the focus, right?
Yes.
You wouldn't be going to the state meet if track wasn't 90% of what you do. But talk to us about some other classes you're taking, some other things you're doing here at the high school.
Yeah, I do kinesiology. Goal is to be a physical therapist, so that's kind of getting me in that place. I do DECA as well, just for fun. Not much going on, really. I just focus mainly on sports, but academics is also such a big part of my life. Some decently hard classes, but kinesiology is probably one of, like, preparation type of classes for me.
Knowing that that's what you want to go into afterward. Well, speaking of afterward, you are just a junior, right? So you still have your senior year to come. But knowing that that's still a ways off, what are some places and some things you're considering for when you do graduate?
Yeah, so I'm really hoping to get into a good program, like track program. The goal is UCLA, but there's also so many good track programs out there. Out of state would be so cool. But again, it's just wherever the wind takes me. I've never been the type to have like a dream school, so it's really just who reaches out or who I enjoy talking to the most.
Right.
Just getting started with that whole process, so we'll see.
Now, you talked about your training, and that's all year round, summer, like you said, Coach. But what about this week? So we know it's coming up. It's 5 days away. What are some things you do this week to specifically get you ready for this weekend?
This week is not much running, to be honest. Just I want to have fresh legs because that's really important, and then just going to practice twice a week, but keeping it chill because right now is not the time to try to get a lot better because that's in the past. Been for so long now, so it's really just what I can do. Just trying to fix the small things, but also just like taking this week to prepare myself mentally. Especially this season's been very stressful for me, so it's not been the best performances. So we're just trying to have fun and prepare myself for that. Yeah, it's just trying to take all my hard work and put it out there, hopefully perform well.
Right. So, Coach, you've been there before, team sports, individual sports. From the moment that gold medal at area goes around your neck, clock's on, I'm headed to state.
Absolutely.
What do the coaches do to help athletes in that situation to stay out of their own head and just focus on the task at hand? There's some things that you guys have done, and I'm sure that depends on the athlete and the event.
Right.
But
She alluded to it. Less is more right now. You've put the work in, and it's just fine tuning. She said fresh body, fresh mind and fresh bodies win. So she needs to go with just that freshness of, all right, I'm almost to the ultimate goal. I got the state now because she wants to medal. She wants to play. She wants to be in the hunt. And it sounds like her coaches are doing the right things with her, and just you can watch in this sport, whether it's pole vault or high jump. There's a level of different pressures each meet, each attempt. Like she said, every attempt's important for tiebreakers. They can all go. There can be 4 people at 13, but they go back to the misses on to break the ties. So there's just so much mental capacity for this sport that I took the picture when she finally realized, because y'all tied right at regionals,
yes.
And I was close to her. I had my phone ready. I'm a tweet guy. Is when she realized I saw all the emotion, and she didn't approve of either picture, but I still posted it. But no, you can just see all that emotion that goes into it. But it sounds like Leslie and her coach are doing a good job of just fine tuning, make sure she's got peace of mind before she goes to compete.
All right, well, we're excited to see what you do. We're so proud of you for representing San Marcos. Now, we always let our student athletes get some shout outs. So, we're live on the RattlerUp Network. People will catch this in the archives later on. So with a live mic, who do you want to send some shout outs to back home?
My parents are so supportive of me. I love them so much. Always supporting me through all my sports, and especially pole vault. So super grateful for them.
All right. Well, thanks, Mom and Dad, watching at home, hopefully on the RattlerUp Network. Well, Nelly, thanks for joining us, and good luck to you at state this weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, Nelly will head to state looking to win that state title. But when we get back from commercial break, we're going to be joined by someone that actually did that earlier this year. The state wrestling champion, Mila Juarez, will be with us when we return here on the RattlerUp Network.
Marcus, and pretty much been here ever since, and I'm very happy to be here.
Making a bond with my brother is like memories for a lifetime,
Oh yeah, and there he is, number 12. You.
And so I was like, ooh, maybe I should give this a try, and I did, and I'm so glad I did.
Tom Brady.
Favorite movie?
Top Gun.
They get their open guy with the hot hand.
I definitely say our team chemistry.
Okay.
I feel like we've come together pretty well, especially coming off of the Corpus tournament that we had.
First year, and I'm super excited to continue the second year.
Welcome back to Rattler Up with Coach Walsh. And whether you're watching live right now or in the archives on the Rattler Up Network, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Our digital communication students that put all these broadcasts together love seeing that number climb up, so help them out by clicking on subscribe. Now, we are excited to be joined by another San Marcos High School junior, and this is an athlete that went undefeated at the state meet to become the 6A state wrestling champion. Welcome in Mila Juarez. Mila, thanks for joining us here on Rattler Up.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations on an incredible achievement. Now that you've had some time to relax and reflect about it, how does it feel to hold that gold medal and know that you are the state champion?
Honestly, it's pretty kind of humbling, you know? I would say it's cool that I won state, but that's not just my goal. I kind of want to leave more of a legacy. So winning state, that was a great moment. But now it's like, okay, it's time to get back to work. There's things you need to work on. You can still get better. There's more people you want to hang with. So it's kind of just something that grounds you and kind of gives you a name, but I think it more grounded me.
No, that's awesome. I love to hear that there's still more in the plan, right?
Absolutely.
So take us through the journey. As many of our viewers know, you were this close to winning the title before, right? And take us through how your first couple of high school years were leading up to now this year being able to finally win it.
My first couple years was just a mental struggle. I was always good enough to do something, but I had like not the best mental and I wasn't always fully prepared. Wrestling is the weird sport where you have to worry about your weight all the time and like what you eat and stuff and what you put in. And I think my freshman year I struggled a lot with like the weight cutting part and just kind of finding my place and knowing that you're good enough. But I think it was more of a mental struggle, and to get better, I've just kind of just built myself up, you know. I trained with, you know, some of the best in the state, and, you know, I think it's more maturing, really. Okay. I don't really fully know what it was, but it had to do something with my mental that I just got better.
Well, it's, again, I think something that some people take for granted, right? In sports in general, but especially those sports that maybe people aren't as familiar with, pole vault, wrestling, just how much mental toughness it takes to do that, especially when you're on that stage, when you're on that mat. And that's where I'd like to take you back behind the scenes to two specific moments. So number one, right before the title match and right after. So right before, as you step onto that match for the final match, you know this one's for the championship. What is going through your head in that moment? What is Coach Smith doing to get you ready in that moment right before you step out and have that final match?
Well, what was going in my head, I was just playing in my mind, like, you know, you have to be a little delusional. I kind of tell myself, like, you're the best in the world. You're the best now, you know. Even though, you know, I'm personally not the best in the world. But you kind of just have to tell yourself that.
But you want to believe that you are right there in that moment, right?
Like, there's things that you can do that you don't know that you can do. And I was kind of just going through what I would do during the match. Me and Smith had done a prayer before, and Smith was kind of letting go because I get very nervous before my matches. But I'm good at controlling myself. My hands start twitching a little bit. I'm like this whenever I'm warming up. But I kind of just need my space sometimes just so I can get out of my head and just be myself and put it all together.
I want to ask a question because I was there. And Chris, and I watched 2 you wrestle before at regionals and at state. And so when you got to, I finally saw your mat, the girl you were fixing to go against, and she was long. Like it seemed like there was fixing to be a difference of style. And I mean, it was a different match that I've seen you. So what were you thinking? I mean, have you wrestled against her before? And she was long and trying to use her length to stay away from you because she didn't want you to throw her on the mat. And so it was a different kind of match that you had to be patient with too. And then I'll get to the third set too.
I would say that wrestling long people is very hard for me personally because I am.
We're live at San Marcos High School, so that's all right.
Because I'm very short. I'm 5 foot. I'm very stubby, you know. But wrestling long people, it's a lot harder to go around to shoot through. They can just kind of post out and kind of stall
and
more.
She wasn't wanting to stir it up with you either.
No, she was not. So I think it was just being patient and knowing I can beat you, and more or less, if anything, you're scared of me. I'm not really scared of you. So I don't mean that in a rude way.
No, but you knew an opportunity would present itself.
Yes,
you got to be ready to take advantage of it, right?
Yes, I knew in my head, like, you can beat her. Just be patient and just wrestle your own match. That's
and in the end, the third, what do you call them? Third sets? Third
period.
Third period,
yes.
Okay. The third period, she did get on you. And you had, I mean, it was I'm sitting by your mom, so I'm listening to all the anxiety up there. But you had to stay strong because you couldn't get out of it, but you knew you couldn't let her point you. And so take me to that spot when she was on top.
I think when she was on top, as soon as I felt that she couldn't turn me, I knew
you were stronger.
I knew I was safe, yes, sir. As soon as she felt that she couldn't turn me, I didn't feel an urge to get up because, I'm up by 6 points, which I know that's not a lot in football and stuff like that, but that's a pretty good amount in wrestling, especially if it's third period.
You see how she translated for me?
But I would say that I kind of just had confidence in where I was and kind of knowing I wrestle a lot, it's kind of just what I do every day.
You got instinct built in at this point.
I know if someone's going to turn me, I know what it would feel like a little bit. So I kind of just had pure confidence there. That's all I had, was confidence.
Well, then take me to that moment right afterward then. At that moment when you realize that's it, it's over, I won, I'm the state champion. Before we get to the stage to get the medal, but that instant on the mat when you know it's happened, is that a release? Is that how does that feel?
It was a sign of a release because losing state the year before, that was just a big mental pressure on me. And I think getting into the state finals wasn't enough for me. I remember Justice telling me, she was like, I didn't get an emotion from you all night, so I was really happy that you finally had an emotion after the finals. And I was like, yeah, it was kind of more of a business trip. There's one thing that I wanted to do and one thing I needed to do. And when it was finally done, it was pure excitement. It's like all your hard work has paid off, You're not just second place anymore. Now you can finally be first place for once. But yeah.
And so that kind of sets you up since now you're a junior. So you've already started thinking about, you've got a title to defend now, right? Going into your senior season. How does that change things? Does it change things? Or you just kind of come back and do, like you said, the business that you need to do now?
I would say it definitely 100% does change things, but in my mind, it doesn't change things. My dad has told me, some girls will wrestle me a lot harder, a lot differently because, this is
it's almost like you got a target on your back now.
Yes, target on my back for sure. I definitely feel it. Some girls will just go in, a lot hard, kind of give it their all because I'm the person that they want to take down. And, people, whenever you get to the top, more people want to see you fall. Not that I'm at the top, but, more people will want to see you fall. Right. So I think there is a target on my back, but in my mind, just focus on yourself, as long as you focus on yourself and be yourself.
Awesome. Well, just like Nelly in the last segment, you've still got a year to go to graduation. But have you given some thought as to what you want to do when you graduate?
Yes, sir. I definitely want to wrestle in college. If there's a school I really would like to go to, it'd be OSU. But besides that,
Coach Walsh approved.
Yes, sir. I want to go into the medical field because, my mom's in the medical field and both my sisters are going into the medical field. So thinking about either a PA, a nurse anesthesiologist, or even an orthopedic surgeon because I've gotten a lot of injuries lately. So that's really kind of it.
You learned it the hard way.
Yes, I did learn it the hard way.
Well, before we let you go, and it's just kind of how this segment works. People don't know, but you're going to get to join us for one additional segment as we're going to now go to Rapid Fire with Creek Ennis. As our student broadcaster, Creek Ennis, is going to join us on the show. So, immediately the way this works, 60 seconds, he's going to just ask, I don't even know what, and you give him the best answer you can for those 60 seconds. State champion Mila Juarez, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
60 seconds on the clock begins now.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
Pink and teal.
Favorite wrestling win of the season?
My state finals.
Favorite movie?
A Bronx Tale.
Best restaurant in San Marcos?
Thai Thai.
Favorite aspect of wrestling?
Hanging out with my friends.
I like it.
How long have you been wrestling?
5 years, 6 years.
Favorite subject in school?
Math.
Now, who's your favorite teacher?
Mr. Vivek.
Hardest part of wrestling?
Mental.
Yeah, I know you said that a lot on there. Favorite college?
OSU, probably, yeah.
Favorite drink?
Cascade ice, like the little sparkling ices.
Do you have a favorite sport outside of wrestling?
Yes, probably Basketball.
I love basketball too.
Yes.
All right.
Favorite song? We got to get one more in.
Yeah, that was
Favorite
time.
song-
Finish
oh.
the question, no problem.
Earrings by Malcolm Todd.
I like that song too.
All right, so thank you, Creek Ennis, for putting our state champion on the hot seat there for rapid fire. So, Mila, we always let our student athletes get their shout outs in, like you heard in the last segment. So, whether they're watching live on the Rattler Up Network or in the archives afterward, who are some people you want to send some shout outs to?
I would like to shout out my mom and my dad and both my sisters. They're a really big support system, and they always have faith in me, and they always think I can do something better than what I am. I'd also like to shout out Coach Smith and Coach Cross. Sorry, my mind.
I was going to help you.
Yeah, and Coach Smith and Coach Cross, because they're always there for me. Coach Cross is always giving me a joke, so I can be level-headed. I'd also like to shout out 3F, my wrestling club, Coach Martin and Coach Jack and Coach Moshe and Coach Matt, all of them. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, Mila, thank you so much for joining us on Rattler Up. Congratulations on this season, and good luck to next season as well.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, Mila winning the state championship was one of many incredible highlights this year in Rattler Nation. And when we return from commercial break, we're going to look back at all of them. So keep it here as you're watching Rattler Up. Welcome back to Rattler Up with Coach Walsh, a student production of the CTE Digital Communications Program here on the Rattler Up Network. So, Coach, with as busy as you are, especially during the spring semester, have you had a chance to think about the goals that you set for the year and how you met them, or what exceeded those goals as you think back to where you were in maybe episode 1 of Rattler Up this season for?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep a state of the program year by year, and there's some years that are, in certain categories like team sports going to the playoffs versus other years. But no, I think overall it was, I think we had a strong start, with the football season. And every year we seem to have, and on that state of the program, I have a category of, I just call it the first evers or first ever since. And, the San Marcos High School has been open for 100 years. And so when you can say you've done something for the first time in 56 years or the first time in 22 years, and like Mila, she can do a first ever this year. No girl has ever won back-to-back state champions, or no wrestler, period.
Right.
She's only the second state champion. So, and that category is filling up over the last 6 years.
Nice.
So and I think this year, it was since 2006, 19 years or 20 years, the football team advances as far as they could. So it's always fun to get those. Boys basketball has been in there, girls basketball. We're extremely pleased. And forget the results. I'm old enough now to get lost in the journeys of all those seasons and all those kids. And we talked about the 7th graders through the seniors now.
Right.
It's been fun to watch them grow, and every year is a different journey. But that's the part that I get lost in now.
Well, it's actually exactly what I was going to ask you next. We're about to talk about the playoff appearances, the college signings, all those things. But again, in your 6th year at San Marcos, what are the things that you see outside of the on-court, on-field victories that let you know this program's headed in the right direction?
Yeah, just the way that kids grow. We never want to be their moms or their dads. Sometimes we do have to be that. But we definitely want to be an extension. And if they sign up for athletics, I want to see our imprint. I want to see Dan Miller's imprint on those guys. I want to see Cooper Harrelson's imprint on when those girls graduate. And I do get to see that. We don't win them all. We don't. You can only have so many in your program, that only so many spots. But just what the journey, what the process, what the system entails is just going to build solid young men and solid young women. we get to see it. And if I wasn't doing that piece right, or we weren't doing that piece right, I would not be doing the job.
Yeah, that comes first. And when that hits, the victories follow. Is that?
Yeah, and then the game nights become fun because now you're out there with your family and your football family, your basketball family. You're out there with them, and you're able to handle the ups and downs of those competitions.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look back at those incredible scenes from 25-26, and it starts in the fall, as you mentioned, with football, making it into those regional round at the Alamo Dome. So now we've talked about that, obviously, with RattlerUp in the fall, but with several months removed from that excitement, what stands out to you most now?
We had a unique journey, with this senior class, and it's not just the ones that weren't able to play for 3 years. It was the ones that were waiting for their teammates to come play for 3 years. So you would like to have gone further and talked about, playing in the state championship, but just to watch them throughout the season, because football, man, there's so many hardships. I don't care if you end up a state champion. There's a lot of hardships that take place because it's such a physical game.
Right.
And, I played it for many years, and it was never fun to practice and put that helmet on. It just wasn't. So to watch them grind it out, and then just the unity we had as a football team, all of us, not just 10, 15, 20. It was the entire 56 of them, and just playing together and playing for each other.
I had an old principal that told us a lot of times, your school year as a whole in the state of Texas oftentimes will go how your football season goes. And we've had a terrific school year here at San Marcos High School as a whole, and it's really cool that prophecy played out. What a great start to the year in so many ways by having the enthusiasm, that community togetherness, as thousands upon thousands of people converged on the Alamo to cheer on Rattlers. Right?
It's not just a football team. There's so many organizations that make up that Friday night. We've talked about the Friday night experience, and I think that's what sets the tone for the school spirit. It's not just the game. I am the football coach, and I take responsibility for that, but it's just making that event special each Friday night.
Right. So as we moved into the winter, then girls basketball, they go on their run. They get to the area round of the playoffs. How exciting was that run, especially given, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of the obstacles that could have cut that short at any point, that they still went as far as they did? Yeah,
and as far as you go is how healthy as you go usually. And so the bummer of the thing is we lost Milena Perkins. And if Milena Perkins is still there, it's no doubt in my mind we're going further. But that group, to say, and I thought about Milena signed the other day. And so that dawned on me. I watched her as a 7th grade at Miller Middle School and come to the high school. And that was just a special bunch of girls. That, there was about 3 or 4 at Miller and about 3 at Goodnight. And you knew when they got together, it was going to be this type of basketball. It was going to be in that first ever, category they did a year ago. That's a good group of girls. Strong leadership in our school, not just on the basketball court.
Well, then in the spring, the hits just keep coming, right? In swim, we had 2 regional qualifying teams. In powerlifting, we had 4 state qualifiers. In golf, we got the regional qualifier. In track, 9 area qualifiers, 4 regional. And, of course, Nelly, who we spoke to earlier, is headed to state this weekend. And we get the wrestling state champion. Baseball makes the bi-district playoffs. So how great is it to know that there really has become a standard set for Rattler athletics, and that these kinds of wins and successes are happening so much more regularly?
Yeah, and I sent that state of the program because everything you're saying kind of is bottled up in that. And when I sent it to our cabinet, I said, RattlerUp is not just a saying. And Justice asked me about 3 years ago, can you put on paper and define what you think RattlerUp is? It'd be a research paper because there's so many things that you got to RattlerUp for. Just getting out of bed and getting to workouts early, making you good grades. But the RattlerUp is a culture, and I think there is a standard set. And then if we're going to be busy in the spring, as busy, all those sports you just said, all going at one time. So you might as well be good at them and have a good time while you're doing it. And it's been fun to be the guy that just gets to go to these things for a living.
Right. And we talked about the spread that has, that culture. We have at the board meeting Monday, we got a list of CTE winners that have done various state and national qualifiers. The fine arts department has been earning award after award after award at record numbers. It really everyone is rattlering up.
Right.
It's not just an athletics thing.
No, absolutely not. When I go, State of the City was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And Dr. Cardona and Andrew and Justice put together a really good presentation of representing SMC ISD, and you see all these programs, and they're all successful. And if you could walk the halls as much as I get to see them out of the court, out of the band hall, it's a great place to go to school.
And so then through it all, Coach, there were 24 student athletes that signed to continue to play their sport in college. Now, talk a little bit about the importance of college signings. I mean, most people see the obvious part. Kid gets to keep playing and go to college and get paid for it, but there could be so much more for these athletes, correct? 24 of them this year.
Right. And some coaches will tell you that it's not their responsibility. Their job is to coach you in high school, but I think it's absolutely our responsibility as high school head coaches to make sure if our kids, it doesn't matter, there's so many levels. You can play Division I. You can be where Isaiah and Diggy are and be at the Division level where Ori or Tony's at. Or you can be, there's Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA. All those are opportunities to keep doing what you love, and they just make school quicker for you. When you go play ball at the next level, if school flies by because you're going from season to season to season. And so these signings are just a great representation of honoring the work they did for San Marcos High School, and then just, passing them on so they can be good ambassadors for us.
And it's life-changing in so many cases, right? To have opportunities that without those sports accomplishments, they may not have had access to, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, like Tony Diaz was back here today working out, and just to see, he's gotten to go to UTRGV. That got him to Iowa. He's at a Big Ten program. You can tell there's a different kind of meal plan there. he looks like an NFL receiver right now, and the opportunities. And you can talk about it now because it's legal. There's the NIL, the NAIL money that these kids can make, and we have some ones that are very fortunate that have come through our system and now take advantage of the system that's college football now.
Right. Well, 25-26 was another incredible year for Rattler Athletics. So as we wrap up the year that was, we will wrap up our final Rattler Up of the season. Coach, it has been great to be along with the ride with you once again for our 4th season.
Yeah, it's been a good time, and it just continues to grow. And I know you're going to talk about a few others that are in the studio right now, but the set changes, and it's going to continue to change. I think our just the reach we're having is just growing. I know you got some things coming up that's going to make it grow even more.
Absolutely, we're exciting. So, speaking of that 4th season, we want to take a moment to recognize some of the incredible work of the students that bring you Rattler Up and all the live broadcasts on the Rattler Up network. I've been so blessed and so gifted to get to sit in front of this microphone, but this is the easiest work. I sit here and talk, but knowing all the buttons that are being pressed in and around us, lights being lit up, cameras being run, graphics and commercials being produced. And it's a lot of hard work, both in the classroom and then just the hours that they come in. Those baseball games have lasted till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night some nights. And those kids are there in the cold, in the rain, putting the work in. We want to recognize them. And it starts with Coach Wack and Mr. Moore. They lead the way and getting these kids ready in the classroom. And then the kids step up and make those incredible things happen on the air. One student we want to recognize is Merritt Todd. She has become a top-ranked student producer, managing the full production across multiple sports, multiple broadcasts. So, Merritt, we thank you for your work. Of course, Creek Ennis, we see him on this broadcast, and you hear him on those live network, Rattler Network specials. He stepped up to become such an incredible student announcer. He was even noticed by an NBC Sports anchor to get further training, so the future is certainly bright there for Creek. I didn't do it. I meant to, but I'm going to do it before he leaves. I'm going to get him to sign one of our baseball scorecards. So
there you go.
When he's on Sports Center, I've got evidence that I called games with him, right?
He is a natural at this.
And all these other students that have assisted, again, in camera work, graphic design, production, setup, so many other aspects. We want to thank Jonathan Quintero, Eduardo Hernandez, Salhudin Masood, Abigail Urbina, Lucas Wagner, Xarion Castillo, Emma Solis, Elijah Garcia, Liliana Price, Julian Hernandez, Michaela Fletcher. These are all kids that put in their time, their extra effort to make this look good, to make those live sports broadcasts look good. And coming up next year, we're going to be adding a student broadcast trailer, Coach. That's something we're really excited about, to give these incredible kids an opportunity to broadcast on the road from anywhere. The entire booth production set will be inside the trailer with a satellite. We can take that on the road and literally broadcast Rattler Nation from anywhere in the nation. How exciting is it for you as the athletic director to know that the access to people seeing what your kids are doing will spread in such a huge way?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The people that are going to be most excited about that are the ones that just can't get to our games, the out-of-town families. even just our school personnel that are after a long day, they would like to go, can't make it. They can just turn it on, even because y'all can make an away game. That's a big matchup. And then what I really love about it is, it's the brand. We get the brand on the road, and I'm sure you're not just going to have a white truck going. We're going to have it branded up, right?
We'll wrap it. It's going to be called Rattler Up Network. Well, and that's the network is specifically that. It's the heart of what you just said about the Rattler Up culture, looking to not just broadcast sports games, but broadcast concerts and music events and fine arts performances to really show, hey, the things that are going on in Rattler Nation. Anytime someone rattlers up, if we can get it on the air, we want to get that on the air. That's the idea. So before we go, Coach, what would you say you are looking most forward to for the 26-27 school year?
Man, it's a good question. And you actually prepped me for it, and I still don't know the answer. But, I just think just resetting. I'm that I was going to tell you when you said, well, welcome back, I was like, well, we're at the end of the year, but I won't say that because we just never end. We start now. We don't go to school and do math and English, but our workouts. That Creek knows he's got to be there at 9 o'clock Monday through Thursday. For 3 weeks in June, 3 weeks in July. So just resetting and starting a journey again.
Right.
I don't get tired of this, and it's just fun to watch. Creek's class. Reset it again with us.
Well, and I think this is the time of the year that back in June, when you thought, I just want to take a second. Now you look back and go, that's why you didn't.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Are you able to finagle any kind of fun summer plan in there? Do you have any kind of vacation plan or anything set up for yourself just yet?
Not yet, but we'll figure something out.
All right. Well, that does it for this week, and that does it for season 4 of the Rattler Up Show with Coach Walsh. So we sincerely appreciate you watching all year. Thanks to the students and staff that have joined us over the course of this year. Those students have come in just nervous as heck about being interviewed, and they walk out being pretty confident in themselves, and we've been proud to watch that happen. Thanks to all the parents, relatives, friends, and fans that watch each time, whether live or in the archives, and support the show. We are truly looking forward to bringing an incredible season 5 coming up in 2026-27. So for the final time this year, for Coach Walsh, I'm CJ Odeman. Thanks for watching Rattler Up.